What is subculture? Subculture are those groups that have values and norms that are distinct from those held by the majority. Subculture is also a large group of people that sharing same thing in common, like religion or beliefs. What is a youth subculture? A youth subculture is a youth-based subculture with distinct styles, behaviors, and interests. Youth subculture offer participate and identity outside of that grabbed by social institutions such as family, work, home, and school. The subculture show a systematic hostility to the dominant culture are sometimes described as counterculture.
Examples of what defines a subculture. The study of subcultures often consists of the study of the symbolism attached by clothing, music, and other visible affections by members of the culture. Also, the ways in which these same symbols are interpreted by members of the dominant culture. The youth music genre are mostly what defines the youth subculture. Youth subcultures include music such as hip hop, punks, emos, ravers, and goths. As of close, the youth in all over Canada is all about the fashion, style, and staying up to date with a modern style. This mostly consists of name brands, expensive shoes, makeup looks.
How can youth subculture influence a larger part of the culture? Although they may value many of the same things as their parents, they express these values in very different ways. For example, while independence is a value held largely in Canadian society for youth, this implies having freedom from the rules and regulations imposed on them by their parents and other adults. This can bring the youth into direct conflict with the rules of adult society, and this can classify their behavior as delinquent. While youth are socialized into the dominant values of a society and still largely participate in the larger culture, there are distinct characteristics that set apart youth subcultures. The clearest differences is in their values. How can this impact our day-to-day life? The youth subculture can impact our day-to-day life in a way of our moving generations. Each year, teenagers of the youth subculture produce a new way to a trend, whether it's music, clothes, or even social media. Every day as the youth sees these influencers and models or even YouTubers on social media, it impacts everyone and every day to be changing their personal subculture. As a teenager, when I see my idol influencer on YouTube with a new fashion style or new makeup look, I get inspired to be like her. And in my everyday to day life, I'm influenced to just like them and be like them, even listen to hip hop songs because this YouTuber influences us in a way. This impacts everyone as a group. The youth subculture back then and now. Back in the 20th century, the youth subculture was mostly about emo, goth, jocks, nerds, and anime characters, etc. It was all about the separation difference of the culture and subculture. Even just by looking at a group of jocks and nerds, you can tell from the way they dress or even the way they talk or act. Speaking of modern youth subculture now, it is all about being someone you are not. As you can tell, nowadays, you can tell from someone being a goth to being a nerd. It is very likely people are known as now. Every generation of teens is shaped by the social, political, and economic events of the day. Today's teenagers are no different, and they are first generation who are saturated by mobile technology and social media. They just look at the social media part of the subculture rather than just being influenced from one group of a culture.